Hello everyone, welcome back to Sports Company with me and Adi and Rishi. And the topic of conversation today is foreign player performance in the IPL. It's a very interesting one. It's because the IPL, as we know, is probably the hardest T20 league in the world, like including the international ones, including the World Cups, maybe just the hardest competition, uh, T20 wise, of course, that is around the globe. So what value does it hold in, like, for these foreign teams? Do they really look into what is happening in the IPL when they pick their national teams? Rishi bro, what do you think? Do you think like foreign teams should pick based on IPL performances? We've seen like already like a couple of players this season, Maxwell being dropped from the Punjab Kings setup, Livingston was dropped from RCB's team. Do you think England and Australia will at all care that these guys are not doing well?
I mean, I don't know if they conclude, just by the IPL performance, but I think it'll of course play a big factor. Like if a guy is lighting a tournament up on fire, and like say just for example, say a Jofra Archer who's been out of the like in and out for a while now, assuming he hadn't played that India tour of England, and he's lighting the T20, I mean IPL on fire. He's in the form of his life. Right after that, if they do have a tournament, I don't know if England are willing to, completely overlook him and be like, you know what, it's just a T20 tournament. He hasn't performed for us. So, of course, it can be a way for for players to get back in. But again, I feel it works both ways. Like, you can't get back in just by doing well in IPL, and I don't think you can be excluded just by, being poor in IPL, because you have cases like your Maxwells who haven't had good IPL. Like I can't remember the last time Maxwell had a good IPL season with the bat, like good enough where I feel like
Well,
the same
there's
standards he
some
keeps for Australia.
shocking stat with Maxwell, which says I think he averages some 11 or 12 or something like that since 2020 or 2021. That's shocking
Exactly,
in
but
the IPL.
at
In
the
the
same
IPL,
time, yeah, at the same time, he for Australia, he's like a completely different player. So if he can do that, if players can do that, like if it's just this tournament that they're, not performing, while for their international team they're playing well, I don't think they drop them either. But it is a stepping stone. That's what I treat it as. Like you can either, you know try and showcase your talent and put yourself in the selector's eyes, or if you're already on a downward slope and if this also doesn't help you, it can further add to your misery.
okay, how much does it matter that the tournament itself just happens in India? Like, how much of a factor is that? Because obviously, international competitions are not going to happen in India. Like, maybe like a few of them will, but majority will obviously happen outside India. And how much does that factor in, especially for countries like England or Australia who play a lot of home series as well, where the conditions are completely different? How much does it matter that because there's a difference in conditions, Adi, that it should not matter as much as to how you perform in the IPL?
Yeah, for me, with international players, I think it really doesn't matter much because the fact of saying, okay, you had a poor IPL and we're going to drop you, it really doesn't make sense. At the end of the day, IPL is just a local league for India. It's not a denominating factor where okay, you're going to judge this player because of it. Maybe you can find rising players to prominent through IPL, but I don't think it works the other way where like a big player who's doing so great for his country for so long comes in and has a bad IPL maybe for 1 2 years and he needs to get dropped because of that. I don't think any national team has to look at it like that anyways. Because if a national team like England, South Africa, or Australia are going to drop their prominent players for a bad IPL, I don't think they themselves are serious enough then. Like, what's the point of dropping your main players who've done so much for your country based on an IPL which really doesn't matter for their own national team? Like, they don't care what happens in the IPL. Like, it shouldn't matter for them. And secondly, yeah, as you said, like conditions matter. Like, if you're talking about Maxwell, I think in India, what like he's to be fair, he had a great IPL under RCB. I think when we talk about Maxwell, it depends on the environment. It depends on the teams he's plays for. Like he's played majority of his career for like not relevant teams like Delhi and Punjab. Like they, as an entire organization, always had poor teams. So you can't single out Maxwell and say, okay, he's been a poor player when the entire team he played for was not one of the greatest teams to be there in the IPL, right? And when once he came to RCB, I remember he used to play what, number 3, 4, number 5 at times, and he still had a pretty good season. Like 2 out of 4 seasons, he was spectacular. Even in 2021, I think he was RCB's best batsman. Like, so I really can't sit and say Maxwell should be dropped because he's had poor IPLs, because you saw what he did for the world in the World Cup recently in 2023 for Australia. He technically is the reason why Australia even could play the World Cup final if you actually look at it. He's done a lot. Like, he's had 2 World Cups, one T20 World Cup. Like, you can't drop players based on IPL. And as you said, even conditions matter, because at the end of the day, Indian conditions are Indian conditions, and the Indian conditions we play in IPL is not even relevant to what the Indian conditions are and generally throughout the season. Because you look at, like, last year, you look at the IPL stadiums, like Chinnaswamy was a flat track, like a lot of places were flat track. Look at that this year, it's a total different scene. Like, you're not getting those same flat tracks. So in India, Indians are only not able to assess the situations, the grounds well enough. You really can't find all Indians, playing, at their best, right? Even we can make a case like a lot of Indians don't play great in IPL, but they still play uh, for the national team. If you want, you can talk about Rohit Sharma, like a main example. He's never had a great IPL season ever, but he still plays for India without question. So
Hmm.
I think it's a very lazy argument for me to say, like, yeah, if you're not playing well in IPL, you need to be dropped. Or it's a case for, especially for an overseas player, I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, yeah. But bro, Rishi, like, can it go the other way around? Like, where you do really well in the IPL and you then get picked for a national team? Because that seems to be a lot more logical, and we've seen it happen in the past. And I've seen a
Yeah, yeah,
number
we've
of
seen.
cases where
Correct.
it has happened.
Bro, and with the way teams are going, like their scouting departments, like they don't restrict themselves to India. Like I feel, especially teams like Mumbai Indians, they have a huge setup where, like they have net bowlers, they have bats, like they have net bowlers basically from all around the world. Like I think Jansen also was picked up by Mumbai Indians, made his debut, and then played for South Africa national team. I think all these guys, they first, like a lot of them, like even Mafaka, he played for under 19. He had a good tournament, then played for Mumbai Indians, and then went on to play for the senior team. I think same with Brevis. So you
Sunil
have a lot of
Narayan,
these,
like so many.
yeah, you have a lot of players who, if not for IPL, I'm not saying they wouldn't have made it, but IPL definitely is a, like launch pad for them. Like that's how it has become right now. Like you see, like even with Indian players, bro, a lot of them haven't even made Ranji, like their Ranji debuts. Like Suryavanshi, I don't even think he's like made an under 16 or an under 17 debut so far. He went on to play directly under 19 World Cup and then the IPL. Same goes with Vignesh Puthur. So yeah, like one of the pros of this big money league is that they will spread out their wings. They will have their scouting setup all around the world, not just India.
Yeah, but what about like the foreign players? Like, should they be picked for their national teams based on them doing well for like their IPL franchises?
Just the IPL franchise, I don't think so. I don't know again
But
because
but it's
like Adi said,
happened. Like weirdly, it's happened in the past and it's worked out.
but like how many of them have just played like just the IPL and have had a good tournament and then went on to consistently play for their
Not
nation? They
on
should show
play
something
just
else
the
as
IPL,
well.
not play just the IPL, but based on a very good IPL season. For example, like Sunil Narayan doing
Mm.
extremely well in the IPL. KKR goes and plays for the West Indies. After that, goes and gets picked for the West Indian Test team, which was too far for him, right? Based on the fact that he was something different. Um, you're looking at even Jake Fraser McGurk in the last couple of years. Not saying that he hasn't played out in other places, but just the fact that he had that amazing season with Delhi, played for Australia after that.
Be frustrated, yeah.
Yeah, again, I'm going like James Faulkner. We've discussed this, who had an incredible season, one or two with the Rajasthan Royals, and then played for Australia
Yeah.
for a while. And like, can because of the pressure situation and how much of a like spectacle the IPL is, can you just say like, so for example, I don't know, Matisha Patirana, bro, him getting into the Sri Lankan setup is, I think, purely the IPL, like, and the fact that he played for CSK. So what about like players like this where it's they just come and they play the IPL, they get that big season. I don't know, for example, I can't think of anybody in particular right now, but say like a Jacob Bethel had never played for England and he has a spectacular IPL season. Should they be saying, ah, okay, fine, like now I think it's time for you to play for the national team? For the
I
T20
mean,
team.
But
for
but
for a
but
for a
Vettel played for England, just to
That's what I'm saying. I
be
said
clear.
that's what I said. I can't think of anyone right now, but say like Bethel hadn't.
So like yeah, if for the T20 team, it like of course at the end of the day, this is not just an exhibition game, right? I feel at least I feel this is like the elite. This is the best T20 tournament in the world. Like the best of the best come play here. They have the best coaches here, and I even see national team ka coaches leave out their duties and come play, like take part in the auctions and stuff. That's how much of importance that's you can say. Okay, that's how much of money there is. But at the end of the day, where money is, if there is a substantial amount of money in a tournament, the quality will also go up because everybody wants to be a part of it. Like at least I can say with certain level of confidence that the 90, 90, 95% of the best would want to come and play, and that ultimately makes the tournament better. So if a youngster especially is having a brilliant tournament there, I don't see how the teams can look past that either. Like say if Jacob Bethel, like say assuming Phil Salt unfortunately misses out on the rest of the IPL, Jacob Bethel has a brilliant remainder of the season. I don't see how England can, considering how inconsistent they have been as well. It's not like England have been a solid T20 setup. They have been going through their own problems as well. So considering all these things, I don't see how they can just be like, you know what, it's just the IPL, it's in India. Who knows how he's like, he's gonna come back and play in England, or the next World T20 is gonna happen elsewhere. So if it's happening in South Africa, we don't know how it's gonna turn out there. So because that much of certainty you will get, like because he is facing ultimately the best bowlers in the business. So if you can do that, if you can hack that, it is certainly a star in your CV. Like you can, it's something to be proud of in your CV.
Yeah, okay, interesting. And I think, bro, I think it's very hard to neglect what you, especially good performances in the IPL because it's already just four foreigners. So 32 foreigners play. So what? 40 now. 40 foreigners play in the first 11 of an IPL event, right? Like, and in that 40 foreigners, you are performing well. Like, it's super hard. Like, especially in the IPL, it's super hard. And if you do well, I don't know how you can say overlook somebody's good performances in the IPL. I think it's extremely hard. So I think if you do well in the IPL, it's almost a given that you should play for the national team. Although, like, I know conditions are different and all of that. I think a good IPL season overlook. Can you guys think of any players right now that are like that probably haven't played as much for the national team? I know Jacob Bethel we just spoke about, but he's been given his all like he has his ODI cap, he has a T20 cap,
Now
and in
he's played all three formats for England, and he's yet to really play for RCB. So I don't think Bethel is the best of
no, I don't know. That's what
example.
that's what I said. That's what I'm trying to think of somebody probably has
See,
not
last
chosen.
from my point of view, I think a bit of Will Jacks, even though he didn't make his debut for
What
England,
about
he did.
what about Dewald Brevis? Like if
So the thing
Brevis has a
again, like
good IPL now from now till the end of the season, do you think South Africa should be looking at him after this IPL for the T20? There in it. Like he's not a sure shot at all.
I think Brevis has already made his debut for in South
He makes
Africa. So
everybody, but
again,
he's clearly like not in the like first
yeah, so
six.
that's my point. Like you look at guys like Fazer Makak, you look like guys like Will Jacks, even they made their prominence stay in their teams maybe through IPL to an extent, but they haven't been that great. Like you look at Fazer Makak, he's not been able to hack the international cricket level. You look at Will Jacks, he's not been able to crack the international level from the from the few years of what I've seen. Like, and apart from that, I don't really remember any other overseas player who's become prominent through IPL. Like for me, like I really can't. Like even if you talk about Faulkner, he didn't have like a long career. If you have to be honest, he played a good 2 3 years, if I'm not wrong, and then he just vanished. So it's not like there have been like prominent players, especially for overseas. For India, it's a different topic. I agree. Like we find a lot of talent for Indian naturally because it's an Indian league, but overseas, I don't really think we found anyone. Even if you want to put the example of Mahapaka here, he was the player of the tournament, if I'm not wrong, in the World Cup, in under 19 World Cup he played. And then he came to Mumbai Indians. He played 2 games. He got smashed for like 100 runs in those 2 games, if I'm not wrong. He has an economy of 15 runs in the IPL. And it really didn't matter. Like South Africa really didn't care. Like he got dropped by Mumbai Indians. He only played 2 games. I think he's with RR now. He's yet to play. But it really didn't matter. I think regardless, he was there. He still played for South Africa because it just how they look at their talent, evaluate talent. They believed in him, and maybe they do believe him for the future, and that's about it. Like same with Brevis. I think you can have a good tournament, you might not have a good tournament in IPL, but valuation of a player just through IPL is it's a bit lazy in my opinion, because you have to see an entire overview of a player. Like you have to look at him playing, domestic cricket. You have to look at him playing even other formats and other leagues in the world. There are so many leagues now. You have BBL, you have the England League, you have South African League, you have West Indies League. Now you even have leagues in US. You have Dubai, the Middle East. So there are so many leagues where you have to sit and play consistently to say, okay, you've proven enough to be like, yeah, sure, you can be a factor in our team. Like even if Brevis, like, okay, sure, you have a great IPL, but who are you coming to replace? Like, which player are you going to replace in the South African team? Are you better than the South African players? Like, I don't think you can just sit and say, yeah, you're here to replace someone because of your IPL credentials. Like, for example, let's say Brevis has a better IPL this season than, let's say, Markram, for example. Would you say, okay, now Brevis should come in for Markram? I don't think anyone can sit and say that, like, honestly. So you have to understand, like, the dynamics of the national team, requirements of the national team. Like, it's just more deeper than, yeah, if you have a good IPL, you need to be considered, for the national selection or national team.
Yeah, I understand that, but I don't think. Yeah, I agree with the fact that maybe it won't make like superstar players, as in a good IPL performance will not give the launch pad for you to become the best for your national team. Like it doesn't happen because usually the best players have been those who perform across formats, and some sort of pedigree in like first class cricket they always hold. But I'm talking about like even those like short careers. What short careers in the sense short stints with the national team. Like how many years? Like Faulkner played like 3-4 good years with Australia. Then you have obviously Narayan had his issues. That's why he's not played. Whatever. But like these kind of guys, Fraser McGurk obviously made his Australia.
You guys
I think
remember
the best.
Rafi Theran? He had a short stint in South
Yeah,
Africa.
exactly.
But like,
They're
but
good
are you
players.
guys? So, for example, let's say Rashid Khan has been very poor in the IPL past 2 seasons. So, are you guys saying he needs to be dropped from the Afghanistan
No,
team because
that's what I'm
he's been
saying.
poor?
I don't think for dropping it doesn't work, but I think to make someone play, it works. Dropping, of course, it's a big step, but I think to
But,
give somebody
but
a chance to play for the national team, it's possible. It's
so,
very
for
possible.
example, let's say like Fraser McGurk had a better season than Travis had through this thing. And like let's say at a point of time even David Warner was there. You have Matthew Shaw who plays well for uh Australia. There's so many players there who play well for Australia. Are you saying like now because Salt, I mean, for example, what do you call Travis had a poor IPL, but Fraser McGurk lit up the IPL. Would you choose McGurk over Head just for the fact of okay, yeah, he had a better IPL? You
I
can't. Like
wouldn't choose McGurk over Head. Like that's not give McGurk a chance, like to
See,
prove himself.
nobody's saying that like IPL is going to cement somebody's position in the league. Like, but
but
now
but,
there are
but,
so
but the
many
point
international games that you can afford to like rotate and see. Like India sends like what, three squads at a time for like different formats. Same with Australia. Like they can send a test team, they can send an ODI team, and then for that Pakistan series they completely changed it up and rested a lot of their big players. So in such series you can afford to make a few changes like that, and nobody, it's not going to be like, it's not going to be portrayed like Travis Head is dropped. It's like, okay, like the another
but
person has a
but
good tournament, we're
that is
giving him an.
naturally gonna come. But that's naturally gonna come even if you're not playing like IPL or playing good in IPL. Like that's the point. Like guys like Short don't play the IPL, but they're still gonna be there playing for Australia. English never played IPL this season, but he's still a very prominent figure in the Australian cricket team. He's been poor this season in IPL, but he's still gonna be their keeper, mainstay keeper in the IPL team. Like that's my point. Like I don't think like the point is, are you what? How are you going to judge performance in IPL? Are you? That's what I said. Like, if Head has been poor in IPL and like someone like Fraser McGurk has been better than him, like miles ahead, Are you going to drop him for him? Like, you don't do
No,
that.
no,
Like, that's
that's
the
what I'm saying. What you're asking is very circumstantial. Like because head is
Rahul, but
and
my point
as
is
head.
no, but our point is wait. Our point is, should teams pick a player in the team based on IPL performances? If they're being
That's what I'm
picked in the
saying.
team, someone's going to be replaced. So who are they replacing is the question,
Yes,
right?
so exactly my point. So now you're speaking about head not doing well and then McGurk doing well. I don't think it's a case of head being dropped. It's just a case of giving Fraser McGurk a chance. Now
But
head does
over
not have
what
to play, but
basis?
that's the thing. So now head does not have to play every single T20 for Australia, like a bilateral series I'm talking about. He doesn't really have to. That is your opportunity to give somebody like a Fraser McGurk a chance. Because, bro, like imagine some Sri Lanka is touring Australia, which, like, like in the summer, like one, two teams come who probably aren't as good as like your Indias and Englands and South Africas or whatever. So that's the perfect opportunity for somebody like a head not to play and give like a Fraser McGurk a chance. It's not so much dropping head; it's more giving Fraser McGurk a chance. Like I think that's what will
But
happen.
that
That's what has
is
happened
my point.
throughout.
But my point is that's going to happen. It's like saying an academy player gets to play a cup game because it's a cup game, but in the actual stage when it matters, you're not going to play the academy player, for example. That's the point. Like Fraser Magag will regardless
No, if
play
he can if he can build
those
on that,
irrelevant.
if he has a brilliant series, if he has say a stellar series, he deserves a chance to be in the conversation. You can't just
Correct,
straight
correct,
up be like,
But
if
exactly.
the
that is
selectors
if
are
no
having
no no
if the selectors are
but
having a
you're
conversation, they can't straight up be like, Fraser Magog. No, it's as simple as that.
no
Like
but we
he
are
can
talking
make
about
himself be part of the conversation.
But you're talking about Fraser Magag playing well for Australia, which is different from Fraser Magag playing well for Delhi Capitals. If he plays well for Australia now, then he has a chance to go. And that's not because he's playing well for Delhi Capitals. My
No,
point is,
that no,
regardless
but
of him,
so that
no,
your
one
first
second.
that first chance for Australia has to come, right?
But it would have come regardless of you playing well in IPL or not, because your point is Travis Head is rested because it's a useless or not a great match for Australia, and that's why they're going to look and tweak in and get in someone else. So it's not because Fraser Makak has played well in IPL, he's going to get a chance. It's because like he has been a talent for a long time for Australia. He's been playing even the BBL. Like the reason he got a chance in IPL is because of his performance in BBL. So it's not like it's because he did well in
So that's
like
what I'm saying.
IPL.
So this is where like the IPL makes a difference. For example, now you have many BBL players. Matthew Short only, for example, let's take he opens for his BBL team. I think plays number three or opens the batting. And now you have and Matthew Short also has is there around the Australian team, national team. So if your first choice openers are not there, who like say Australia's first choice openers, bro. I actually don't know who their first choice openers are.
It
Imagine
is
they're not
short.
there.
It's short and head, if I'm not
I
wrong.
mean, right now it's short in head, but say like it was 3, 4 years ago, hypothetically 3, 4 years ago, that it was somebody else.
They would have
Whoever
been
it
like
was.
Fitz Warner.
Warner and
Whoever. Say it was Finch and Warner, just for argument's sake. And there was Short, who is around. Who he's pretty experienced. He's been around for a while. So Matthew Short is around the conversation, and he can come in and play our team. But Fraser McGurk has done very well in the IPL. In this situation, I would give Fraser McGurk the chance over Matthew Short, who's doing well in the BBL. I think personally, because I think
But
it's a
like
tougher
I
competition.
would put an argument by saying Fraser Magga has not been as good as Short in the BBL. So why would you be like, yeah, this
That's
guy?
what I'm saying. So for me, like personally, I put the IPL as the highest franchise competition, the toughest. And if you excel in in the IPL, I think that warrants a place over somebody who's doing well in
But
the BBL.
but
That's what I think.
are you saying Fraser Magga deserves a chance to play a home series in Australia because he played well in India, which we saw last year was very easy
It's
flat tracks
not,
to play.
yeah. So for me, there it's not so much about the conditions. It's more about like the competition itself. The fact that he's doing well in such a tough competition over the BBL, I think warrants a place
So
over
okay,
negating the conditions. There, I think
I'll
the
give
conditions for
you
me would not matter that much.
I'll give you an example. I think I have to take the stats out, but Fraser Magga, we saw he was very great last year, right? In the IPL
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah,
India. Yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I think he had a very poor BBL this year, and he's
Okay.
also not been able to hack, the international cricket. For example, his stats. Let me say, ODIs he's averaging 14 runs. In
No, but
T20s he's
T20,
averaging 16 runs
yeah, yeah.
for Australia,
He didn't
and
have a
then
good T20 series with Australia. So now
yeah,
that
wait.
I'm saying
One
is
second.
okay.
One second. Like even with let's say like even with your IPL last year for Delhi, he was averaging 36 in 9 games. He scored 330 runs. This year in BBL, he played 10 games. He scored 188 runs. He averages of 18. So again,
That's
are you
one
saying
thing,
Fraser
man.
McCook deserves a chance because he had a great season last year in IPL, but he was poor in the BBL, but he still deserves a chance over Matthew Short, who's been outperforming
Correct.
McCook
That's what I feel.
consistently in the BBL.
I'm not saying it's going to work every time. Clearly, it has not worked with Fraser McGurk. Like, he's had a bad season with Australia in the T20 circuit. He's had a bad IPL anyways this year. So, like, it's not like every time it's going to come off, but I think sometimes it does come off. So,
Like
I
who?
think we're just playing on those chances. That's it. It's just a
I
preference
think,
thing.
but my point is who? Like we haven't seen that ever in IPL, especially with overseas players who's even with
No,
Indian
that's
players,
not
you
like
find a lot
this.
of guys who play well
Sunil
in India,
Narayan, Sunil Narayan, who had like an excellent series,
but
excellent
Sunil Narayan
IPL.
used to play for West Indies before he played
No,
for
he didn't. He did not. He did not.
dude,
He
he
played the IPL
debuted.
and then no, he didn't. He
I'm
got a
sure he
scam.
played.
No, he did not.
If you can check,
Wait,
just go check. I'm
let
sure he
me
played
check.
for West Indies before he played for India, and like I mean, sorry, in the
No,
IPL. But
I'm
apart from
saying,
Sunil,
bro, even if he
even with
got
apart from Sunil Narayan, it's such a rare
even if he
case. You've never
got
find
his
anyone.
bro, even if he got his cap, he established himself all after the IPL, 100%.
Yeah, but my point is, okay, one player, if you really want to say it, okay, fine. But apart from that, no one else has really done it where they're like, okay, through the IPL, I became a prominent figure in my national team. And it's not fair to say because
But
of the IPL, you need to play well.
Marco Jansen is now a prominent figure in South African cricket.
But
Like,
that,
he
but
plays every game.
dude, like, even with Marco Jansen, he was not great in the IPL in the beginning. He was great in the IPL when he was with India.
I think we lost Adi there. Yeah, Rishi, quickly, bro.
Bro,
Like,
yeah.
your take on it.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. So I was trying to find some players who are, within the setup, within the like England setup or Australia setup, who are, I wouldn't say like sure shot players, but in the fringes and who might make the case. So for England, for example, there are like players like Dan Muesley, there are Jordan Cox. These are all like Jordan Cox is one of the reputed batsmen for them. He's recently came in and scored the fastest the 100 blast 50 or something, if I'm not wrong. I think 25-year-old or 24-year-old. Now,
Hmm.
if they were to integrate a player just one spot, like they had, suppose the England setup had one spot for T20, who are they going to look at? If a Jacob Bethel in form, or say a Jordan Cox, like for all the things that Jordan Cox has been doing, like he's been playing consistent first class cricket, T20 debuts, he plays for Kent, he's been
Yeah.
like he even plays great cricket for Sydney. But now in the next series, in the immediate upcoming series, despite all the domestic performances that he's having, who will they probably look at? Like this is assuming Jacob Bethel has a good tournament, scores
Hmm.
a decent amount of runs. Who are they going to look at? Like, again, when it comes to playing an international T20 tournament or international T20 series, I think these guys would give that first choice, or they would. I'm not saying they would cement Jacob Bethel as the player. They would rather give him this opportunity and be like, you know what, Jordan Cox, let's just see how much more, like, for how much longer can he perform, or maybe the next series. But I feel
bro,
the immediate
but
priority might be given to someone in the who's performing in the IPL.
but Bethel's a different case. He's barely played first class cricket for England. He's literally what 21 years old. He's barely played first class cricket. He still got into the test team. I think even their coaching staff. I think Ben Stokes said it's unprecedented for anyone to do that. But we've taken the chance and we want him. Like they trust in him. Like it's not a matter of him playing well in IPL is why he's getting like he's already played. He's played more games for England than he's even played in the IPL. So it doesn't really matter if he plays well in the IPL or not. Like even with the case of Harry Brooks, he doesn't play IPL, but England don't care about that.
No,
They
no,
trust
like
in him.
he's saying like in general, like if there is a case
But
where
my
like
point is, we can't take Brooks. I mean, we can't take
no, no,
Bethel
no,
as an
I'm not saying we
example.
take Bethel. I'm saying okay, even for England, if there's a young English player who's playing, okay, even Bethel, bro, like just take him for example.
You
He's only played
can't. Like
10
it's not
T20
fair.
games. He's played only 10
Rahul,
T20.
Rahul, he's never played in a first class cricket over the other people you guys are trying to compare. But he's
No,
playing in
no,
the
okay.
test team. You need to
I'm saying
understand it's different.
okay, fine, leave Bethel. Okay, say there's any English player, bro, any young English player, would they? choose him based on his performances in the Blast or the IPL, I think even they will say the IPL over the Blast. That bro, and in England, it's like especially a country like England where they only don't know what is the most important T20 like short form competition. Is it the 100? Is it the Blast? Like they don't know what is happening. They are going to go to the IPL. Like they are going to go to like the tournament of the world. I think and that's where I think these things make a difference. But in general, I'm sure like all of these teams like you also respect like
But we have
yeah.
to, but we have to make these statements backed on proof. But like, we really can't sit and say there are players out there who are playing IPL, and that's why they're getting chosen over players who are playing, for something like for the country, and they're not getting picked. Like, for short example, like, he's getting picked for Australia right now because he's been playing well in the local leagues, and Pezamaga is
No,
not able
that's
to crack
true.
it.
But bro, see, in the IPL, that's the thing. Because you have only 40 foreign spots. In that, I'm just like roughly telling you that 30-35 of those spots will go to experienced foreign nationals. Correct? Like most of the time, you're going
But,
to go to experienced players, and probably like five of those will go to young players. I'm saying at best, like five unproven youngsters. So in that percentage to even get like one or two players who will go on to play for like a
but
foreign national team, I think is a big deal.
but can you say like at least two unproven players in the past 3 years that have played in IPL consistently? Like, we can't say, like, if we have to say overseas
Maxwell,
player
yeah.
is Marco Jansen, bro, he's been there since 2019, if I'm not wrong. What is new about Marco Jansen now? Like, I'm saying in the past
But
3 years, have you found
he started off by being
egg?
a net
Apart from
bowler. So
Marco Jansen in 2019 when he started playing, I think he had a brother also who was playing in the IPL. I'm sure.
yeah,
But my point is, apart from that, like, we've not really had players like in the past 3 years. I'm asking, like, recent cricket where cricket has become more younger. You've found all your older players retiring. Like, guys like Steve Smith, Kane Williamson are not even considered anymore. Like, but you can't still give me three players who played in the IPL and become like a prominent figure. Like, we can't, especially for overseas players. Like, not even
No, but
two.
bro, in 3 years is a very short time for them to become prominent anyways.
Rahul Jaiswal became prominent for India within one season of IPL, like, for example.
Adi,
Rinku
Jaiswal,
Singh got his debut because of IPL. Like, Yash
bro,
Dayal became
Indian,
a
like
prominent figure
Adi,
in the
because
Indian
the
team.
pool of Indian players is so much more. You
it's
have
No, but my
40
point is it's
versus
you have
easy. My
seven
point is it's
seven
easy
Indian
to.
players. You will get a lot more young Indian players over young foreign players.
Okay, but can you
It's
tell me
obvious.
5 players who've been playing consistently in the IPL, young players, for 5 years consistently in the IPL? Like, you can't name
No,
anyone,
because
for
that is
example.
what I'm saying. Like as an IPL franchise, I will obviously go for like the most bankable like foreign option. In that
Exactly, but
in that there will be one maybe one player who is like that like who hasn't been seen like a Fraser McGurk who's come across like in the last year or two. But you will not get so many players in that of that nature. And if any of them go on to play for their national team, I think it's a big deal. Like Marco Janssen, I think is a great example. Like somebody who made his IPL debut in 2021 and played for South Africa only in 2022. So played the
fair,
IPL.
that's one example. But apart from that, how many else? You always have exceptions.
I
My
don't
point
think
is,
it
it's
won't happen year on year. But I'm saying like if it happens, if it's like the IPL versus the Blast or the IPL
so that
versus
means
maybe
IPL
then
is
I think
not
it's
a
a big
great
deal.
factor to say you have to play well in IPL to, make a chance. That's the point. Like,
No, you
IPL
don't
is not a
have to.
factor.
You don't have to. But like if you do, it's a very good like stepping stone for you to play well in
But that's my point.
like
Even
for
with
the national
Janssen,
team.
he never had great IPL seasons, right? Like, he got dropped by Mumbai. Then to an extent, he's also gotten dropped by SRS. He's never really cracked IPL to be like he's been great, bro.
No,
Like, I
but
remember
it is.
Janssen throughout his career in IPL has been average, and he's always used to
But
get
he got
sacked. And he used to get dropped
seen.
by. Huh?
But he got seen on that stage for him to become the player
But
that he is.
no, but my point is he's never had a great IPL to be like, oh, so your point is like you have to have a great IPL to like play for the national team.
No, not
But like
play,
I
but
said, yeah,
like get a chance for the national team.
if you are
dude,
getting a
like,
consistent
how are
run
you getting? Are
your
you
IPL
saying you?
team, if
No,
you're
no,
getting a
no.
consistent run in your IPL team, your national team's bound to take notice. They're not going to guarantee a chance. Nobody's saying they'll cement a place in the squad just because of your IPL performance, but you are going to be looked at. Like nobody's going to see, okay,
That
there's
will
a young
happen
player who's
regardless.
playing in
Like,
T20,
that's what I'm saying,
like
bro.
in
Like with
IPL, I'm not gonna give two hoots
Hmm.
about it.
But
Hmm.
with Mahapaka, for example, you said he became a prominent figure, or like with South Africa because of IPL. He played 2 games for Mumbai Indians. We all know what happened to him in those 2 games, And like South Africa really didn't care. It was not because of those two games of IPL why he got a prominent figure in, or like now we got to know this Mahapaka. It's not that. Like Mahapaka became a thing because he had a great like World Cup, if I'm not wrong, under 19 World Cup, and that's why he became a thing. Like South Africa already knew about Mahapaka. It's not because he went to Mumbai Indians is why they got to know about Mahapaka. Same with Janssen. It's not because they played in IPL. It's like, oh, now there's a player. Like they obviously know they've already had their uh, pathway, the grassroots, which they know they're aware of the players. And my point is, in IPL, they've not played well enough. Like, can you say Janssen has played well enough in IPL to be like, this is why he
Not,
got
not,
a
not
chance?
maybe not Janssen, but like, yeah, I think Narayan for sure, and even like McGurk to warrant a chance in it. I'm saying like, and that's it. And actually, yeah, bro, I don't think it's a case where like, oh, you'll have a lot of players that have done it. I don't think it's that. I think it's just a good conversation to have because
See, someone like,
you might get
just
the
for,
odd player
like,
that
just to give another example, like, I don't think, if I'm not wrong, Corbin Bosch hasn't played T20s for South Africa. He's played one or two
yeah.
ODIs, and I think one or two tests
Yes,
for South
yeah.
Africa. Now, if he does go on to have a good tournament, the remainder of the tournament, or if he did have a good tournament after like a good IPL, and after which his chances of South African team like suddenly increased, you can't
Yeah,
just be like, that would have happened anyway because he's a 30-year-old player. A 30-year-old
Now,
player who
but he
hasn't.
performed well for South Africa in the few games he played. Like
no, but
he
he's only played
literally
two.
carried them against
He's
Pakistan. Like
played one Test match and he's
He's
played two
played
ODIs.
once again. He's played
exactly. But
one
my
test
point
match,
is,
two ODIs,
Rishi, was it? You're
like
saying,
zero
but
T20s.
But my point is, he was already there in the South African team. South African team knew him before Mumbai Indians got him. My point is, just because he's playing well for Mumbai Indians is not the reason he's playing in the IPL team.
No, no,
It's
but
because he's
it
already
it's
played
That
not
well for
the
never
South
the
only
Africa.
case.
reason.
I'm not saying that is like Mumbai Indians are the reason or IPL is the reason players are getting their places. I'm saying if he, like, okay, if a 30-year-old player has gotten 3 international caps, okay, goes on to have a brilliant IPL, after which in the immediate next two series, if he's getting say 4 caps or 5 caps, you can't just be like, yeah, but he was always in the part of the setup, he
That's
would have
true.
gotten his
Exactly.
natural chance anyway.
That's
No,
fair.
He's getting
that's not the
like
point.
that immediate attention
That's
that he's
fair.
getting is solely because of his brilliant performance in the IPL. And whether
But
he does,
that is
like,
just
whether
that
he
is
like
just an
makes use of it is
additional
different.
point. But that's an addition. It's not your. That's the thing. Like you play, continuing your form in IPL. That's going to happen regardless. If he went to BBL, now he played well in BBL. It's not like he's going to get dropped. If he went and played somewhere else in the world, he would have still continued his form of playing for South Africa well. He had a great, debut. He played even in ODIs, and then he's coming playing wherever he's playing BBL. Let's say anywhere else, he's getting a chance. He's playing well there. It's just a transition period. That's it. Like the reason he's playing for South Africa is because of his performance in IPL. I don't think so. It's just because he's been platformed and he's played well in all the places he's been
You
able to
know
play
what?
well. That's the point.
If Corbin Bosch does end up playing for South Africa, it will actually be a very like good
Okay,
case.
I'll give
Also,
you an
South Africa,
example. Wait, wait, wait. I'll give you this
this
example. Wait, wait.
supposed brilliant form of Corbin Bosch, he scored 15 runs for South Africa versus Pakistan in an
No,
ODI game.
let me
If
Bro,
that
just
is
did
give
you
stellar
you.
not see
form,
what he,
Okay,
dude? You
okay,
didn't see what he
no,
did in the test
I'm
match.
just
Like that is
one second,
very
guys.
one game of. Wait. Before this, one
One
game
second.
of.
Let me just give you his T20 record, like in leagues around the world. Corbin Bosch in the SA T20 averages 7. Okay, 7, 7. Not even joking. Okay, and if he does do well in the IPL, I think you have to, and he plays a T20 game for South Africa. I think you have to give a lot of credit to the fact that he's done well in the IPL because clearly his performances in the SA20 are not that great. Like you, it's obvious that if he does well in the IPL and he
Wow,
plays a
but
T20, yeah.
Corbin Bosch, I'm seeing his stats. He's played 6 games as a batter in South African like whatever T20. Like it's not like he's gotten a chance as a batter to ever
No,
play.
he's played 14
Like
games in SA20. He's played 14 games in
no,
SA20.
he's
Average
played
7.
eight. He played 8 games in 24-25 season. He never
No,
got a
I'm
bat
talking about
one.
in general in his total SA20 career. He's played 14 games, averaging 7. If you are going to
But
do
you
well
take
in the
into context here, like he's
what
got into place. He's played 6 innings, like in SA20. He's
six
played
innings,
six
yeah,
innings.
yeah. No, but even in those 6 innings, he's so that's what I'm saying. Your the argument is that he's already been doing well in your local leagues. That's why he should be
Bro,
playing for. He would play for the
if
South
I
African
put this,
team.
see, if I put the same way, like
Hmm.
what in CPL he's been decent. He's played like he has an average of 22. Like as a number seven, he's done well. Like having 22 average as a number seven is pretty great. And even in bowling, like he's been great in SA20. So I can't sit and say he has a strike rate of 13 in SA20 as a bowler. He's gotten 13 wickets in 14 games. CPL also he has like
Yeah,
9 wickets.
13
Like
wickets in 14 games is fine. Like it's not.
bro, your strike rate is 13 now.
Nah, I mean,
It
yeah,
shows
it's
that he
good.
doesn't.
Fine, it's good. It's good. It's good. But I think again, like it's because his batting has not been stellar, and if he does go on to do well for Mumbai, I think you have to give some credit to the fact that he's done well in the IPL. But okay, let's wrap this up, guys. I think
But my point is that's the same
yeah,
thing. Like my point is, let's
mm,
say he plays well in IPL.
mm.
Who will he replace in the South African team? One.
It
Secondly,
is
if he
not
doesn't
about
play, wait.
somebody.
No, no, it is the point. Rishi, if you're giving a chance to someone, you have to take someone out, regardless of whatever
No,
it
but
is.
that's the point, right? Like imagine South
Okay,
Africa
wait,
plays
wait.
a series
Again,
against
let's.
Sri
So
Lanka.
just a second.
Oh, wait,
So
one
after
second.
after the Ashes at sorry, the BGT that India, I mean Australia played against India, a lot of changes were made for that Pakistan tour. Okay, Hazelwood got dropped.
Sri Lanka, you
Cummins,
mean?
no. The
Even
Pakistan
Pakistan
tour,
went
a
against
lot of
Pakistan.
them, and then players like
Dude, it
Bartlett,
was
a lot
Australia
of
after BGT only played Sri
No, no,
Lanka.
no. He's talking about the ODIs, white ball.
the ODI, the white ball series.
Oh, that is
A
called
lot of the big names got like rotated. Now, would you
that is
say
called
that
resting,
yeah, they
right?
had sorry?
That's called resting, right?
Ah, so that is
Oh, so
testing also
why
happened in
can't
South
South Africa
Africa.
rest some players?
Yeah.
Rishi, but my whole point is if you're going to rest someone, there's a natural element of Bosch playing because of rest. My argument here is if you want to say Bosch needs to be in the team because of his stellar performance in IPL, my whole point is who is he going to replace? Even if he,
He
let's say he
doesn't need
plays,
to be in the
wait.
team. So if a player has to be
Okay.
rested, there will be 10 options.
There'll be other
Okay,
options, exactly.
there'll be 10 options of players. One who's performing well in SA T20, one who's doing well in their domestic
So
first
can
class
you give
cricket.
me those examples? For example, if Bosch was
Adi,
not there, who would,
okay.
no,
Let me
it's
let
simple. Like
oh,
we
I'm
have to
giving you
be
an example. I'm
practical.
giving you an example. Okay. Australia, for example, right now. They have Nathan Ellis is playing in the IPL. A couple of others are playing in the IPL. Fast bowlers. They
Bartlett is
have other
playing.
options. They have fourth, fifth, sixth options. They have Jai Richardson. You had like previously you had Andrew Ty. All these guys were there. But if you do well in the IPL, like if Nathan Ellis, for example, goes on to have a very good IPL, I'm sure that there will be a lot more weightage on the fact that he's done well in the IPL and give him a chance over, like, say, a Jai Richardson or whoever it is, or a
But
Spencer
like
Johnson, for
direct,
example.
bro, that's not fair because Nathan Ellis is playing for Australia right now. Bartlett is playing for Australia right now. And secondly,
Bro, that's
wait,
what I'm saying.
and secondly, when
I'm
Bartlett,
giving you top of my head examples. I'm just trying to give you a scenario about
but
like where
that's
there
my
will be a number of options. Same thing with South Africa.
no.
They will have options. It's just because we haven't heard of them doesn't mean that they don't have options. That's the point.
That's a different thing. But my
Yeah.
perspective is, bro, if we want these guys to be in the team because of performances in IPL, again, let's say Bosch plays every year, he plays well in the IPL, but he goes to the South African team, he doesn't play well there. Like, are you guys saying now he still deserves a chance in, like,
No, he doesn't. Exactly my
exactly.
point.
So
Exactly
my
our
saying,
point that IPL performance does not cement a place in your lineup. It just gives you a boost in your CV when the selectors
but
are looking.
but
That
it's
is it.
regardless it's a weak argument to say you deserve a chance because you played well in IPL. Like throughout
I
history, like even I can give you three examples right
I don't
now
know.
where
I think
players who
David
played.
Miller. I think David Miller and his IPL like thing is one of the best examples. Just like what he has been, what he
What do
did
you
in the
mean?
IPL in his early
Bro,
years.
Miller used to play for
He's
South
playing for
Africa
South Africa, bro.
forever. Like
Huh?
Miller used to play for South Africa forever. It's not like he got a chance because of
No, but
IPL.
it
Second
was
of
Adi, it
all,
was his IPL performance that really cemented his place.
Rahul, he got dropped from the South African team because he was poor in the South African team. So I don't think IPL was the reason why he got picked up, and he also got dropped because he was performing very poor in the IPL. Like I remember that. Like again, like it just depends on the team. Like even you look at this, like for example, right now also, like if McGurk plays well in IPL, then he goes to national team, he doesn't perform well, but he came back to the IPL, he performs well this year, then he again goes to the national team, he doesn't perform well. What's the point of saying, bro, I'm going to give you a chance because you played well in IPL? You
Bro,
know what I'm
that
trying
is
to say?
one specific case you're looking at. I'm saying that to get
But
that chance,
apart from the,
the IPL helps you. If it is not a
like,
guarantee that it will work out. Like, of course, it's not. It's not a guarantee that any player will work out. It's not like
but my
I
whole
think
point
shortage
is,
is Australia's best like T20 player right now. It's not. That's not going to happen. Like it. The
Rahul, but
point is,
that's the thing. Like I'm saying, like bro, that's not what I'm trying to say. Like if you're doing well in the IPL, it doesn't. It's not even like a great parameter to say this because your performance in IPL was well. You come to the national team. Like that's what I'm just saying. Like bro, like you look at like even Indian players like Rinku
mm,
Singh. For a matter of fact, he plays well in the IPL, but when he comes to the international stage, he's not been able to hack it. Now I'm saying, will you keep giving him a chance because he's playing well in the IPL? Like let's take an Indian perspective
I think
only.
you still
Like
would. I think you still would. But anyways, like let's wrap it up.
Okay, for example, okay, like
Yeah.
let's just finish off with this. Let's just take India. So you're saying guys like Rinku Singh, who even Robin Uthappa at a time used to play well for India, IPL, if I'm not wrong. Okay, but we
Bro, he
can
was
just
36 or something, and
yeah,
he
yeah,
was
that's fair,
really
fair, fair.
good.
Let's keep it to whatever now, right? Now you
Rinku
have
Singh.
like let's put it with Rinku Singh and someone like who else has played well for India. Like I guess we can say Dubey to an extent because he's played for India.
Arshdeep
Apart from
Singh.
what do you mean?
Arshdeep Singh also got the spotlight from his
Actually,
Punjab.
best example is Siraj. I think that's the best example because Siraj got actually dropped by the Indian team. Let's say Siraj
Okay.
versus let's say whatever Arshdeep Singh for example. Siraj is
Mm,
doing well in the IPL right now,
mm,
but we take him, put him in the Indian team. I'm just giving a hypothetical scenario where he plays poorly in the Indian team,
mm,
right? Same thing with Arshdeep Singh. He's been okay in the IPL, but you put him in the Indian team. He's been great till now. You can't do anything about that,
mm,
and like he continues the performance.
mm,
And you put the same thing next year, okay? Like again, Siraj has a splendid like IPL career, like season next year and next to next season. But every time he's transitioned to the Indian team, he's not been
mm.
able to play the best. So let's say 2 seasons continuous this happens. Would you guys still say in the third season when he's performed well in the IPL, but he's been poor for Indian team? Would you still say okay, like we'll still give him a chance? You get what I mean?
Bro, see, the thing
So
is,
the whole so
yeah.
the whole argument is that nobody is going to consistently get a spot or be able to hold on to a spot just because of one T20 tournament. Nobody is going to
Exactly.
say that okay, you've played IPL, so here like we're gonna keep you for a year and we're gonna see. The point we've been trying to make is that if at all there is an international tournament coming up, so for which there are two bilateral series for which the selectors are like, you know what, we need to look at we need to look at the other options instead of the established players. So here are say 10 options that we have, of which we can pick two. The odds are that they might give more weightage to somebody who's done well in the most say I'd say the for me it's the toughest T20 league.
Yeah.
Surely from the fact that the best of the best play here and how much importance players are giving to it.
Mm,
So I'm just saying that if the selectors have to give a couple of new faces a chance, playing well in IPL does more to their CV and will give them that initial welcome to the squad. I'm not saying it's a consistent run. If he plays, if he has two bad games, the selectors might just overlook, give the other person a chance, and might not look back at them ever again. But the initial two chances that he gets, you cannot say that okay, the selectors are going to be like IPL is just another tournament. It's the same as Pakistan Super League. We're not going to care how they do. Because the IPL comes with a certain weightage, just that initial run or the initial welcome to the squad, that definitely IPL will give. That boost will be
mm.
given by playing well in a premier T20 tournament like the IPL. That's it.
Yeah. I
So
think that
are you saying a player, let's say, okay, Faisal Magab, he's been poor everywhere apart from IPL. So are you saying he still deserves a chance because he only played
no,
a good
that
season in
exactly the
IPL?
point is he has been given a chance. The simple point is
He
that
played for
that
Australia
first
against
chance,
Pakistan.
that
He
first
completely
chance.
botched it up. Now
But
nobody is looking at
No,
him.
dude,
no,
that's
Now
we'll
I'm
the
not
back
going to
him.
say
The point is only that first initial chance where they try to break into the national team, it can come through the IPL. Like it can come through your good
but
performance in the IPL.
I feel
Nobody's
like
going to
my
say if you keep failing at the international level and you keep doing well in the IPL, it's not like you keep, yeah, okay, play him every year for Australia. No, that's not the point. The point is that initial first chance or when you nobody knows you, you need to like break into the national team. A good IPL season will help. That's it. And
exactly.
that's
So my
yeah.
whole point is with Faisal Magab, he
so
had a
next
great
year, if you're
IPL.
again going to be like Fraser Magur 2 years
He'll
later, if
do
he's
it.
going to be
No, no,
given
no,
a
no, no.
chance, I will
See,
do
dude,
something.
dude, it doesn't matter. The whole fact is You guys are telling Ferguson got a chance in IPL. He played excellent last year. He translated that in the BBL, he couldn't do it. He translated that in the Australian team, he couldn't do it. It's been 1 year. Now come back to the IPL this season, okay? Let's say he had a better season than last year, or at least he's matched those levels last year. Would you guys sit and say, okay, like it doesn't matter your previous performance in BBL has been poor, for Australia has been poor, but I'm still going to take you because you played well in IPL. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, do you think that makes sense? It's fair enough.
Bro, that's the
Over
point.
a guy like the Short who's actually played well, like
If
consistently
Short
over
is
him.
consistently playing well, like there is no need for somebody to
Exactly.
replace him.
No,
The point.
Rishi Short is not getting a great chance. Like right now, if you have to look at Australian team, entire time it's been Finch and Warner till now. Right now, they need a new opening pair. It looks like Travis Head is one of those guys. It's going to be him. They have to look for another guy, right? The fact is, like, who do you think? Like, are you saying Fraser McGurk? We've seen his career over the past 1 year. Like we don't have to like be hypotheticals, right? Like he's been great in the IPL. Then he became like whatever poor form, whatever it is. I'm just putting in the hypothetical of he again came back to the IPL this season, even though he's been poor this season. He had a splendid IPL. That's what I'm trying to say. Would you say, okay, now he again deserves a chance
Bro,
because of
that is what I'm
time?
saying, Adi. The first chance,
Wait,
I
If
wait, my
Matthew
point is,
Short
would you
keeps
not,
playing well,
it matters.
would you
But
not
if
try
they
to
don't
put the
have any
shot?
other options, if they have they're lacking options and somebody else is not doing as well, and if he again comes back and does well in the IPL, yeah, then maybe yeah, you can get a chance. Why? What is
Bro,
the
but
issue
like,
with it?
if
but
Matthew
my
Short
point
is
is
going to
again, like,
consistently play well, there is no argument that okay,
exactly
why
that's
would
what's happening
anyone
now, right now.
No,
Like
but
right
why
now, that's
would
Matthew
what's
Short
why
happening.
for
would anyone
but
change
Matthew Short for
if a
Australia
unit
averages 20.
if a machine is working well, there is no need for anything but like any particular change. There's no point where they'd be like, you
Bro,
know
I'm
what,
saying
we need to change something
short,
that's already working. But if
short
Short is not
doesn't.
playing well, if they are
Short
Bro,
is
looking at
Short
Matthew
is
other
Short,
average
options,
20 for
Matthew
I don't
Short
see
Australia in
why
doesn't play
IPL.
for Australia. He's not gotten a chance for Australia because of Faisal Magurk. That's what I'm trying to say.
Adi Short has played 14 T20s for Australia and he's averaged 20.
That's more than Faisal Magurk. For
I'm
example,
not, but
again,
that the point is not that the point that even he also has not done
when
well.
was the
He's
last
better
time?
than
Like,
Fraser
when was the
Burke,
last
yeah.
time Short got? My point is, when was Short getting a chance for Australia, like consistently? Like, when was the last time he played for T20s consistently? Like, right now, I'm sure it's Faisal Magurk because he's the last guy who's played all the T20 games.
No,
And
but he
again,
did play. No. Matthew Shaw did play against Pakistan, by the way.
Matthew Short played 2 games against Sri Lanka. He played against England. He played against Afghanistan, all in 2025.
Yeah, and he's
and
played
2025. Okay, so
2025.
again, yeah, exactly. Okay, brilliant situation. You're saying Matthew Short in the international level has what 20 average? Like, if you guys are saying that, right?
yes.
Huh? Now
I'm
Fraser
not saying
Magurk,
it. Facts.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't have the stats in front of me. That's why I'm asking. Say, what is Fraser Magurk's average in T20 internationals?
It's
Is
lesser
it
than him.
16?
It's lesser than him. It's lesser than him.
16. Now we're taking Matthew Short as actually a good example. Now Short and Fraser Magurk are playing in the BBL right together. Can you guys compare his stats? I think it was 60 previous year and it was 33
Okay,
this year,
Adi,
if I'm
you're
not wrong.
saying Fraser Magurk is the mainstay. That's not true because Matthew Shaw has played twice the amount of games that Magurk has, T20s,
That was
internationals,
Rahul. That was only
and
after like them realizing Ferguson Magurk is not ready. That's when they started put him in.
no, but
Like
the
Shaw
point
didn't
is
get a
both of
chance
them, Adi,
immediately
but both of them played their last internationals together. They
together.
played
I
this.
know.
They
Fraser
both
Magurk
played
played
the
number
same
three.
season,
I remember that. But my
bro.
whole point is,
But
but
fine.
I'm telling you the situation where like you have to compare Short and Faisal Magurk. Faisal Magurk let's lights up the IPL, but he fails to
Yes,
play in
different
BBL,
times.
for example. Would you
Yeah,
guys still
bro.
take like him?
I'm only saying that first initial chance. Now Fraser Burke got his chance, he blew it fine. Now I can't help it. I'm saying
Bro, I'm not
if there
talking
is a
about
player
that.
who does well in the IPL, give him a. It's not that deep to I think say that yeah okay just
See,
let's
Adi,
put
Rahul, I'm
give
not
him
like
a
talking about
chance.
that. Bro, it's like
I can
Rahul,
put it
it's like
as black and
saying
white as Adi, I can put it as black and white as now in the given situation, Matthew Short, if he plays well, okay, if Fraser Magurk is not playing well, he's ultimately going to be dropped. Okay, nobody. I don't think Australia are a side where they're going to be like, okay, he's doing well in the IPL, so let's keep him in the Australia setup.
but
Let me
I'm
complete.
like,
Please let me complete. Please let me complete. So, if Matthew Short, if once Fraser Magurk gets dropped, it's going to be Matthew Short is going to come in. That is his fair chance. Now, if Matthew Short performs well, it's going to be Matthew Short and Travis Head for the foreseeable future or the immediate future. Now Fraser McGurk has to go over the top and play every tournament out of his skin to even be in the conversation. Now, if Matthew Short, in his given chance, if he's not playing well, if the selectors, if he's playing so poorly that the selectors are looking elsewhere, like, you know what, he's playing so poorly, we might as well give others a chance. Then Jake Fraser McGurk's good performances in IPL and other T20 tournaments will warrant him a look towards that side. That's it. Now,
But
nobody's
that's
going to,
because of
nobody's
Shaw's
saying
poor
Matthew Short.
performances. That's because
Yeah,
Shaw is playing bad.
yeah.
It's
If Matthew
bad.
Short is playing well in the given chance, nobody's going to simply throw him out because of an
Exactly. So
international tournament.
you're only having a conversation because he's playing poor. That's not what I'm trying to say here. That's not what I'm saying. Bro, if you're performing poor in the international stage, you have to be dropped. That's simple. Like that's a logical. That's not what I'm saying here. We're talking about being selected to your national team based on IPL. And my only argument is if a player only plays well in IPL but doesn't perform in other leagues, let's say other domestic leagues in the world, right? Like for example, even Will Jacks last year played well in IPL, but he didn't play that well in other leagues. Right now, who's the opener for England? It's Ben Duckett and Phil Salt. It's not Will Jacks, and that's my point. Like even with Faisal McGurk, like Faisal McGurk and Matthew Short both play in the BBL. They have the same equal chance in the BBL, right? In that situation, Faisal McGurk is still averaging like say 19, 20 in the BBL, while like what do you call sorry, Short is averaging 33, 34. My point is, would you only take IPL performance? Say okay, like they had an equal chance in BBL. Let's take that out of the park because Faisal Maka got the chance to play in IPL and not Matthew Short. Because you have to understand, like at the end of the day, IPL teams look at it in a different way. Like they're like right now, Ben Decker's an actual better player than Will Jacks, but Ben Decker is not playing in the IPL. Will Jacks is playing in the IPL
Why is
because
that so?
it's
Why? Yeah.
because
Why?
I'll tell you, it's so simple. It's because the
Uh,
IPL overrate youth players over the experienced ones, and that's a fact. You can literally see anywhere. Like they
But
overrate, they
that
got
you
in
can't
Mark.
just say, you
It
can't
is
say that's
true,
a
bro.
fact.
It is
Like that
true.
that makes no sense. Like how can you
If
say
a
Rahul,
they
player
are
is good
wait,
enough,
overrated?
wait. Then why?
one
Okay,
second.
tell
If
me.
a player, if a 28-year-old player is playing good enough, nobody is going to say that, you know what, I'm going to look at a 22-year-old who's playing average just because he's 22 year
Rahul,
old and overlook the 28-year-old.
Mumbai Indians just did that. Like Will Jacks is not playing well enough, while Ben Duckett is lighting up T20 cricket. Why is Ben
Okay,
Duckett
so
not playing
Adi,
well?
then if Ben
Like,
Duckett was lighting
I'm
it up, like why did he not get picked for any IPL team?
Yeah,
Rahul, that's my point.
you have
Bro, that's
40
the thing.
slots.
Wait, let me give you an example. Are you guys saying Sam Curran's lighting up cricket right now, T20 cricket?
No,
Why is he
no.
playing T20 cricket
That's
over
the
a better
point. It's
all-rounder? Or why is
not
he
a
playing over?
fact. It's just
It is
about what
literally
your team wants. It's got
Rahul.
nothing to do with the IPL teams rate like younger players. Then why did they
Dude, they
go for Sam
overrate
Curran?
young players more. It's a
Sam
fact.
Curran is not 21, 22 or whatever.
But he's Rahul. The whole point is he's not the best
Yeah.
all-rounder right now. But he's not even the best batsman. He's coming
So
number three
you
right
don't
now
have,
for
not
CSK.
every choice of yours will be good. The point is not the
Dude,
point
so
is
are you? So my point is, are you
I
saying
don't
the
think
IPL
IPL
teams?
team Adi RCB in their starting lineup, okay, of
But
foreign players. I don't think there's one foreign player who's young.
Bethel was last game,
Brother,
if I'm
other
not.
than Betel
He
doesn't
came in
start
as
for
a
RCB.
replacement, brother.
Yes.
Huh?
Which RCB like player is a young player, bro, in that team?
Dude, that's not my point. My point is they
You
prefer
just
young
said
players.
as IPL teams overrate like young players
Exactly.
more
Apart from
than
your four core overseas, wait, apart from your four core overseas, they always
who are going
overrate
to play
young
the
players.
matches.
But they
That's what
overrate young
matters.
players over that. You look at guys like what do you call right now? Like for example, easy thing is Ben Duckett. He's been playing. He's Will Jacks got dropped
Going
by
back
the
to
England.
that one Ben Duckett thing, fine. Like I understand, and I understand
That
people.
was literally my prime example. My prime examples is
Bro,
because
obviously
they,
now one second, Ben Duckett, like who has honestly like come onto the T20 scene very recently.
Rahul,
Obviously,
you have to
IPL
watch
teams are
him
not
play in
going
the
to chase
BBL.
him.
He's been playing well in the BBL also, Rahul. You have to.
BBL, I'm talking about England. Like for England, he's just come onto the T20s.
Yeah, but he's been playing T20 cricket well. That's why he got a chance for England. He didn't have to perform. That's my point. He didn't have to perform in IPL to get a chance for England.
No,
Like he
brother,
performed
for
well
me, I think
everywhere.
Ben Duckett came into the England T20 setup because he has been doing so well in other formats, especially in Test cricket, and he has that explosive
Exactly.
nature to his game, which you can see. It's
Now,
very obvious.
he had a great BBL. That's the reason he played for
Okay,
England.
fine. That okay, fine.
Um,
But that is
BBL 2024-2025 top scorer is Mitchell Owen. He's 23 years old, has been overlooked by IPL. So now what? They don't want to look at youngsters either.
Rishi, when does BBL happen? When does BBL happen? Tell me, when does the
So
auction
again,
happen? Tell me.
if he's available, if he's the top scorer, surely he has to be good. He's a youngster also, so
Rishi,
why isn't
again, that's why
IPL?
you have to think before. When does BBL happen? When does the auctions happen? Auctions happen before the IPL, right? If I'm not, I mean, IPL happens. IPL auctions happen before BBL, right? If I'm not
So
wrong.
they must. So you're telling me IPL teams have or scouting
So are
departments
you
have
saying
no idea of
they have to
potential players?
are you saying they have to, predict the future, saying this guy will be a top scorer in the next 6 months, so we'll buy him now? That's not how it works,
That's
right?
kind of how this one works. No, they're going to bet on players who they think are
Bet,
going to explode
betting
into
on
the
play,
scene.
Rishi, you're telling a fact. You're saying me BBL top scorer didn't get picked in IPL. My point is BBL's top scorer was because he was a BBL top scorer after the IPL. It's two different conversations. Again, I'm coming back to the fact that with guys like Ben Duckett and Will Jacks played IPL, he played well, but he's still not playing for the current England team. Like a guy like Ben Duckett who's not played in the IPL is getting a chance. Again, I'm talking about guys like Matthew Short and Faisal Maka. I'm just giving an example where if you're only playing, my whole point is if you're only playing well in the IPL, it's not enough for you to say you are valid
Mm,
enough to be selected for the
okay.
international team. Because
Let's
like
guys.
with
Yeah.
Short and Faisal Magak, they're both playing BBL. Why is Faisal Magak so-called, he's hacking the greatest league in the world? Why is he not being able to hack a BBL when guys like Matthew Short is playing way, way better than him and playing
Okay,
way
then
consistent?
Adi, I can flip that conversation very easily and say, why is Matthew Shot not hacking the IPL?
Yeah,
I
Matthew Short is
agree
the
that
2023-24
Matthew Short had a
BBL top scorer. Same thing with Aaron Hardy. He was also a BBL top scorer. He's not able
Matt,
to break into the
Matthew Shot has
Punjab team.
consistently done well in the
exactly,
IPL.
and my point is, I agree with that fact. My point is, if you're not good in the national level, it's fine. My whole point is, I'm saying if you're not playing well for the national team, sure, you have to get dropped. Like it's so common sense. Like it's not at all a big deal. Like it's not rocket science. But my point is, I'm not only going to select Faisal Makar because he had a great IPL. You know what I'm saying?
Not
Like
about
with Matthew
select.
Short,
Okay.
bro, the reason
Yeah.
Short, can we say why? Like, bro, same with Short. Okay, like Short had a bad season for Punjab. Punjab, Delhi. I don't remember he played for. I think it was Punjab, right? He didn't play great. Like the same thing with Salt. He didn't play great for Delhi, but like the point is one season's not enough. He's only played 6 IPL games. It's not fair enough to say, yeah, he's not good enough for IPL because he only played like 6 games in the IPL. And secondly, my point is both Short and Fraser Magak are playing in BBL. Why are they not being able to consistently translate IPL performances in the BBL? That's a simple question. So my point is IPL should not be the only benchmark for you to be
Yeah,
selected.
I,
That's it.
I just think you're looking at a very specific case of Fraser Magog, but in anyways, like let's just wrap it up. But I think in general, it is the hardest IPL competition, and that's the only reason we're saying it. But yeah, let's just yeah, we'll wrap it up, bro. That's that, guys. Let us know what you think. Do you think players should be given international chances, like non-Indian players should be given chances in their international teams based on IPL performances? Yeah. So please like and share the video, subscribe to Sports Coverage. See you soon. Bye bye.